Hey y'all, hope you guys doing well. Y'all, this gloss from Julia Place is so bomb. Like I've been having issues where my lips were like be cracky and dry, and when I put this baby on, it peels right off, and my lips be feeling buttery smooth. I don't have a booger. That's my septum nose ring, okay? I don't want y'all to be like, ugh, she got a booger in her nose. I need a new spectrum ring. There's this ring that I like to get. It's like an opal color. I have to get it on Etsy, but I'm not gonna get it as of yet. I'm gonna wait. Especially I'm doing training for my new job, so I don't want them to say anything, even though I don't think they're gonna say anything, but just in case. But yeah, as y'all see in the topic, we're gonna talk about the twin flame community. Um, I've been on this journey since 2017. I met my twin around, well, I don't know. I'm still speculating if he is. I keep going through these phases where I'm like thinking he is, and then the next minute I'm like, ain't no way he can't be. Like, y'all, I don't know. I'm just so over it. I let it go and gave it to God, and I'm just going with the flow of it. I hope you guys can hear me because I'm using the mic. I had to make sure it was still on. Um, yeah. And if I'm too loud, I apologize. Well, I'm gonna see this video first before I make it public. But um, yeah, we're gonna talk about the twin flame. So yeah, I met my twin 2017, and at first it was very weird because I didn't know he was my twin. I just knew. When I first met him, it was like an instant like attraction. I just got out of a relationship with my karmic soulmate. And with my karmic, we was on and off like bad. I've been with my karmic soulmate since I was 12. I know that's crazy, right? But yeah, I met him when I was 12 and we was like, talking and stuff. Trust me, I was still a little girl. I wasn't I, I was just I just had a little boyfriend, okay? um but right before I met my twin, I just started this new job at the airport, and my soulmate ended up getting locked up. And I was sick of it. I was like, this fool keep getting locked up. I can't do it no more. I was heartbroken because, like I said, I've been with him since I was 12. But I also felt like this is my way of fully escaping him and leaving him alone. So I did. And I was having fun. I dyed my hair blonde. You know what that means when you dye your hair blonde, girl. I was out here blonde. I was feeling like a hot girl. I was sad, but low key, I was looking at the brighter things in life. I was like, I don't got no boyfriend. I'm chilling. And around that time, I was like 22. Was I was somewhere in the early 20s. So yeah, I was having fun. The job that I was working at the time, I was having fun there. Like I was enjoying life, okay? And I told myself I was like, I'm not looking at none of these guys. Like I actually wasn't. Like I would talk to them and kiki, but I was still not taking them serious. I was like, you know. But when I saw my twin, I was like, ooh, who that? Like for some odd reason, my eyes was just drawn. I was like, I don't know, but if you know, you know. Like it was just an instant, like whoa. And I don't think he peeped me at. Well, I'm gonna tell ya. Um, well, yeah, I don't think he peeped me at first, but I peeped him at first. I don't know who peeped who at first, but I'm gonna just claim it as I peeped him first. And I was observing him. Like what I do when I like somebody, I observe them from a distance. I'm just seeing how he interact with people, who he interact. I was trying to see if he talks to somebody because the job that I worked at the time, everybody in there was talking to somebody in there. Like, you know how jobs are, like, especially when we're young, somebody in there talking to somebody. And I noticed like he was very friendly to all the girls, not all the girls, but some of the girls. And I was like, that turned me off. I was like, mm-mm. But for some odd reason, I was still drawn. I was like, ooh, because he was just so fine. He still is fine. But something about him, I was just like, even, and it's so crazy because like his, like, I might sound crazy when I say this, but like when I smell him, it's just like, it does something to me. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. If you are a twin flame and you go through the same things, please leave a comment down below so I won't feel so delulu. Because like just him being around me and like smelling him and just it gives me a high. And I was like, that's not normal. I never had that before, you know? Like I normally have little crushes and I just be like, oh, that's cute, and I keep it pushing. But for him, it was very strong. Like mm-mm. It was driving me nuts. And I remember telling one of my friends at the time that, and then she tried to play matchmaker. Yeah. Anywho, but yeah, he was like mingling with all the girls. He was like, the cool guy. And I didn't like that. I was like, he too friendly to me. I don't like friendly men. But like I said, something about him, I was like, ooh. But yeah. And this one day, this is when I found out that because during that time, my karmic soulmate went MIA. Like he wasn't hitting me up, nothing. We stopped talking actually. But normally with him, like we would stop talking and then like he would hit me back up like, hey, I miss you or whatever, and I fall right into it and text him back like I miss you. But a week went to 2 weeks, 2 weeks went to 3 weeks, 3 weeks went to a month. I'm like, something not right. So I did my little investigation and that's when I found out he was locked up. So that day, which I'm about to talk about, the next day I was very sad. I was like, he locked up again. Like, oh my God. What he locked up for? I'm going through so much in my membrane and I was out of it. I was in my mood. And the job that I work at, I used to work for a cleaning service company where we clean the Delta airline. And oh, I gotta sneeze. Hold on. Excuse me. Yeah, so I work for the Delta Airlines, well, partnership with the Delta Airlines. And that job was very fun. I ain't gonna lie, it was very fun, like very fun. But we was loading onto our truck to go to the gate to the plane that we had to clean. And I remember I was just walking. I was just so sad. I'm like, I'm over it. And then on top of that, the crew that I was with, I wasn't fucking with the crew I was with. So that even more made me mad. I'm like, so I'm walking and he's standing outside with his I guess his friend at the time. And he's looking at me. I didn't see him. So I didn't even know he was standing there. Mind you, I'm already like peeping him. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, "What's the matter? Why you look like that?" And I was like, I looked over and it's him talking to me, and I was like, I was like, and I just kept walking because I was like, wait, did he talking to me? Yeah, you know. And I'm such a weird girl. Like when I crush on some people, sometimes they may take it as if like I don't like them, but that's just me like trying to control my emotions. Because growing up, I used to get rejected a lot. Believe it or not, like every person that I like, they always clown me and call me ugly and all this extra stuff. I had a rough upbringing, okay? So it kind of made me not really fully embrace my beauty. So I was still going through that phase where I was still slightly insecure, but I'm still building my self-esteem up. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to men, I was very awkward. And two, like I never spoke to any other guy outside of the person that I was with since I was 12. So me socializing with men were very awkward for me. I could socialize with them friendly wise, but when it comes to like romantic, I get very weird. I get very weird. Um, so when he said that, I was like, and I remember getting on the truck and I was like, oh my God, he said that to me. I was like, ah. And inside I'm geeked out. I'm like, oh, but on the outside I'm still sad because I'm like, this fool is arrested again. Like I was going through the emotions, y'all. So that's when everything slowly starts to come into line, right? And it went on from there. Like we were talking here and there, nothing too serious until my friend tried to play matchmaker because I told her, I was like, he just so fond of me. And she was like, who? And I was like, him. And she was looking, she was like, and so crazy. My two friends at the time, they were being, I had one that was playing matchmaker and I had one becoming a private investigator. So he would tell me like, oh yeah, he's talking to such and such. I see he be in such and such page. Like he do all the work for me, and I'm like, little do they know, I already know. But I'm just going with the flow, you know. It's so cute. Shout out to them. But she ended up telling him that, and I was like, I didn't want you to do that. I honestly didn't want her to do that because, like I said, I didn't want to deal with nobody. But she didn't even tell me that she did that. He told me that she did that. So when she told him, that gave him like a battery in his back to like kind of approach me. So I noticed like little by little he started to approach me, but I was being caught off guard because I'm like, like, wait a minute. I don't want no beef with none of these females because they're gonna think I'm talking to they men. You know how it is. I was like, nah, I think you're very handsome, but let's chill for right now. So he would come up to me, he'd be like, hey, what's up? And it started to get to a point where now, so he was like the drivers of the truck. I was never like in a group with him. But I noticed after the fact that she told him, now all of a sudden I'm on the truck with him. And I'm just like, this is getting so weird and uncomfortable for me because, like I said, like I'm very awkward. So it was making me even more awkward because I'm like, well, like, hold on, this is too much for me. I don't know how to explain it, but if you know, you know. And it started from there to where I don't know how numbers got exchanged, but numbers got exchanged. Like I said, everything was moving too fast for me. I was all over the place mentally, and I was just like, so we started texting, we started chilling, and it went off from there. And around 2018, that's when we stopped talking because it was like a shift. I don't know what happened, but it just got weird. And I was like, and it's crazy because looking back, he used to say things like, oh, I don't know if this is love or lust. And I'm just like, around this time we was talking, like we was talking. Like I'll be going to his house and be chilling and stuff. So I was confused by why he was saying those type of things, but I know now why. Um, so yeah, I'm making this video because I went down a spiral hole, a rabbit hole after me and him stopped talking because after me and him stopped talking, the um the attraction got even more deeper, and I didn't like the feeling of it, and I couldn't understand why I was having all these dreams, why I would see his name everywhere, why I would see his date of birth on the time, on just everywhere. And I would see people that looked like him, but it wasn't him. Girl, I was going through it. I was like, this man put voodoo on me. Like, I was tripping out. I didn't like the feeling. And I was already into like spirituality, but not as deep as I am now and as I was then. Like, I would be the girl that would look up the horoscopes and stuff and look up the horoscope readings and stuff, but I didn't know much about twin flames. I only knew about soulmates, you know, because my karmic soulmate, he was the one that told me that we are soulmates. I didn't know shit about soulmates until he said it. And then when I looked it up, I was like, okay, it makes sense, you know? So everything happens for a reason. But yeah, I didn't like the feeling I was going through at that time of us not speaking. And I got a tarot reading from this lady, and she was pulling some cards, and she was like, y'all are twin flames. And I'm like, fuck is twin flames? And she broke it down to me, and I was like, okay. So I took it as if like, okay, we're twin flames and we're meant to be together. But she also said like y'all need to do, well, she said I need to do like inner work and all this extra stuff. I didn't understand what she meant by inner work at the time. I'm like, what that got to do with me? I'm like, this is not making sense, you know? And I remember I hit him up a couple of times. He would ignore me. The last time I contacted him, I called him because I said, this is getting out of hand. Like, why do you keep ignoring me? This fool answered the phone and hung up on me once he heard my voice. And that hurt me because I was like, this is not a twin flame. Like, you can't even talk to me, you know? But now I understand why. Everything happens for a reason, and it's Gucci, you know. But back then I was flipping the fuck out because I'm like, this is not making sense. That's why I say I go back and forth with if he is or if he isn't, because it's not making sense. You know, like, we can be cool, we can be cordial, but I think it's something on his end, and eventually I might find out, or I may not find out, and I'm okay. But the reason why I'm making this video because I was that girl that would watch all these tarot readings, and if you know, like, half of them, they always talk about karmics, and karmics is doing love spells and all this extra stuff, which sometimes it is the case, but 95% of the time it's not. You gotta understand, like, your twin flame, when y'all separate, y'all have your own path that y'all need to fulfill first. My path was to do some inner work, clear out some karma depths that was brought into the bloodline that I needed to break, do some inner healing as far as like the things that I went through in my childhood. You know, I used to get bullied a lot, and I wasn't emotional intelligent at the time. So I think that's what's another reason why the relationship got how it was. And let me tell you what was the reason why we stopped talking. Is because he was moving very secretly, and I don't like that because I feel like if me and you, as far as I know at the time, I thought I was his girlfriend. I don't know. I don't know. But he treated me as if I was a burden, and I don't like that. I don't like feeling like I'm a burden. I don't like to feel like I'm annoying you. I don't, if I feel like there's something going on, I'ma just remove myself, and that's what I did. And I remember and it's crazy because that day I was going through a lot. I just came home from school or work. I think I came home from work. And during that time, I was going to school in the morning and I would travel all the way to Queens because I lived in the Bronx. So my job was in Queens and my school was in Manhattan. So that's traveling takes up most of your energy. So I'm traveling an hour out to Manhattan to get to school. Then I have to absorb all this information in my brain that's not fully programmed because I'm tired. Then after that, I have to travel 2 hours out to Queens and then work my ass off. And then I have to travel an hour back into the Bronx. And sometimes I'm coming home late. Like I'm coming home. Sometimes I get home around 2 or 1 o'clock at night. Like I'm tired. So that day I was going through it because I was frustrated at the fact that stuff that was going on at home. And I remember that day I cried myself to sleep and then I finally dozed off. I don't know how long I was asleep for, but I dozed off and then I felt a vibration on my phone. You when you're asleep you can hear the phone vibrating in your dreams and then it comes to your senses like, oh, my phone is really ringing. So I jumped up and looked and it was him calling me and I was like, I can't. I was like, I'm gonna call him in the morning because I'm tired and I only had 1 hour left before I had to get up to go to school. So I said, I'm gonna just call him in the morning. So I went back to bed. I woke up that morning. I was like, all right, I'm gonna call him. And then he left some messages. It was like, oh, I don't care who you with, just answer your phone. And I was like, and that pissed me off because I was like, this is not the first time he accused me of doing things. Like I'm not that type of girl. I'm very loyal. I don't play around like that. I'm not gonna do people how I don't want to be done. You know what I mean? And that really pissed me off. And I said, fuck that. I'm not calling him. So it went on to that to where we just stopped talking completely. Maybe it was my fault. Maybe I should have said something. Yes. Not maybe. It is my fault to a certain extent. I should have said something. I should have advocated for myself. But the way that I went about it like I didn't give a fuck about it or him. So I can understand. I can understand it. I take fault for that. Um, but that really pissed me off because I'm like, what makes you think I'm doing something? Now I feel like you doing something. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, my whereabouts, where I do every day. What makes you think I got time to spare on somebody else? So that's what the downfall came into play. And it went on for like months. And then that's when I reached out. He ignored. And then it went on to a year or two. And that's when I called, ignore me. And I said, all right, that's it. I'm not doing it no more. So this is when I went down the rabbit hole with these readings. And they all like, oh, the karmics is doing this and that. And I really believed in it. I was like, there's a karmic that's really throwing magic. And I was like, oh no, this can't be. This can't be. But you gotta realize, just like I have a soulmate, just like you have a soulmate, so does your twin flame. They have soulmates. They have other contracts that they have to fulfill with other people too. Just like we have to do the inner work and we have to do all these extra things to become a better person, so does they. You know what I mean? So I'm sick of these videos, especially in the tarot community, where they benefiting off of our pain. And then half of it be false allegations and everything be false. Like, no karmic had that much willpower over a destined, godly orchestrated connection. No. They may have willpower at that time, but not like that. And two, your twin flame, just like you, have free will. So if they choose not to work on the partnership, that's on them. That's on them. And you can't sit there and constantly keep watching these videos that's keeping you in this recycle loop that's non-existent in your reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe in the fact that every person twin flame is dealing with a karmic. Some people are placed in your life to elevate you. Yes, sometimes they are karmics, but if they are in a karmic relationship, then that's their free will. They chose that life, and you can't sit there and dwell on it. You can't sit there and keep dwelling on it because it's not benefiting you at the end. Like, it's keeping you in this loop to where, like I said, it's not benefiting you and your purpose. That's why I stopped watching these videos. I unsubscribed to these tarot readers that constantly keep doing videos like that where they're like, yeah. And then they got the nerve to sit there and be like, oh, they got STDs and stuff. Like, what spirit is sitting there telling you that this person got STDs to tell the collective? That is so like, that's no, that's not how shit goes. I feel like if there's something that you need to know within your connection, your spiritual team and God would tell you first before he even tell a tarot reader. And that's your problem. When y'all need answers or reinsurance, and I can say this because I was that girl, we run to the tarot readers instead of running to yourself first. If your twin is your mirror and your twin is always picking somebody else before you, that's because you're not choosing yourself first. If your twin is dealing with karmics, it's because you are dealing with something karmic in your life. It's a mirror effect. So when things aren't going the way that you want it to go, you have to sit back and ask yourself, well, what is it that I'm neglecting? What is it that I'm not doing? It all goes back to you. Self. Y'all need to stop relying on others and start relying on yourself more. Start relying on your God, on God. Start relying on your spiritual team because they're not there just cause. How are you relying on somebody else's spiritual team to help you? That don't make sense. And not everybody's spiritual team operates on the highest frequency. They don't operate in godly light. Some people have ancestors that are guiding them down the wrong path, and then you got some that are guiding them down the right path. That's why discernment has to be in everything and anything that you do. And that's why I stopped watching it because it became very toxic. I'm spending all this money to get readings, and then the reading isn't coming out how you want it to come out. And it's all because it's something within you that you need to do for self. And that's a fact. I don't know what else to say, but that's where I'm at right now. I'm just like me. I'm not gonna sit there and dwell on a person that's not even probably not even thinking about me. Even though I know he is because I could be chilling in a good high vibrational frequency, I mean energy, and I just get this wave of him and I just be like, "Hmm." Also, you gotta learn the difference between if it's telepathically being sent to you or if the person is siphoning your energy as well. And that's where I'm at. I'm like, is this person really my twin or is he siphoning off of my energy? Because after him, I came in contact with so many warlocks. So that's why I say I'm flippy floppy with it because I'm starting to look at him like, was he a warlock? You know, especially the dreams that I be having and stuff. It just don't make sense. And the fact that we are in no type of communication at all, it makes me feel like he's not my twin. But for right now, I'm just going to say I'm going to put a big question mark on that. But yeah, that's all that's all I wanted to say. Like we need to start redirecting our energy into something else. Stop watching these videos. Stop getting conned by these tarot readers that want to sit there and milk your money off of their beneficial gains and they bullshitting you. They're saying they're lying and saying, "Oh yeah, he's doing magic and she's doing magic and he like no, no, it's not like that at all. It can be for some, but for majority, it's not, and that's a fact. I don't know. Let me look at my note and see if I'm missing anything else. I said chosen ones are repelled from attacks. If so, he will make it evident to you and only you. Um, yeah, I said everything on my notes. Like it's all a mirror effect. You have to really sit back and look at yourself and see what is it that you're missing within yourself. And it's okay. Some twin flames ain't meant to be together. I feel like we are meant to be together because of the downloads that I've been getting prior, but I'm at a state now where I feel like I don't care if we are or isn't. Like I'm just tired of it. It's draining me. It was draining me, but I don't want to be in that cycle anymore. I don't. So yeah, y'all leave your comments down below. Um, are y'all going through the same thing? Um, what's your thoughts behind it? And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and do the work. Do the work. I know it's gonna be hard for some, but trust me, at the end it's gonna be amazing. Like I went through the work and I'm still doing the work, but it wasn't as dark as it was 2, 5, 6 years ago. Like when I say I was in the dark, I was in the dark because there was so much that I need to clear out. But I'm glad because now I'm at a space where I'm at peace with it. Um, I'm doing things that I always wanted to do. I'm accomplishing so much and I'm happy. I'm happy. But yeah, y'all have a blessed day. I hope you guys stay positive, especially with the stuff that's going on in this world today. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.